Unsung heroes. I want to start doing this weekly with you because this is going to be my first show
Yeah.
after. Well, I don't want to say that. I'm doing post games, but my first show after like sitting down and rewatching the game and figuring it out. Sometimes when you watch live, you're not going to see these types of players. But to me, there are unsung heroes that deserve to be talked about each and every week. Guys that aren't going to be talked about the way they should. People are going to talk about Brock Purdy. People are going to talk about CMC. They're going to talk about Brandon Ayuk when he balls out, or Debo or Kittle. Like those are the obvious things. Drake Jackson when he gets 3 sacks. Like these are obvious. We know these players played well, but I think there are players every week that are reasons also why you won that aren't going to get the love. And to me, I have 3 of these players. I don't know if there's anybody that you had as kind of an unsung hero or somebody that just deserves credit that
Yeah.
may not get it when we talk on these shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got 2 guys that
Okay.
jump out to me.
Yeah.
And they're Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel. Aaron Banks
Love that.
had the best. Banks had the least amount of pressures allowed in the game. Oh, better than Trent Williams. Jake Brendel did as well. Like, so it was Banks, Williams, and then Brendel. But if you're watching Banks and Brendel in the run game, phenomenal, like phenomenal. And I think it was almost every single run went up to the middle or the left side in that game. Kind of typical for the Niners. They don't run to the right for whatever reason. I guess it's because you got Trent Williams over there on the left side, so why not? But Banks and Brendel, man, if you go back and watch the run blocking, it was just insane. And they didn't allow barely any pressures on the quarterback.
Yeah.
That left side, from the center to the left side of the offensive line, is like locked up. One of the best. I honestly think Brendel, Banks, and Williams they're up there, man. Like top.
It's a top trio for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. The O line, I think, and actually, I think we're going to get to McKivitz and Burford, but from a run blocking standpoint, they all look pretty damn good. But from pass blocking, Brendel, Banks, Williams, really good. Go watch. If you guys watch back the game, focus on those guys and their run blocking. It was outstanding.
Yeah, and that's cool because those are 2 guys I didn't even have on my list. So this is why I like doing this. I had 3 players, and I think one of them is getting some love. So I'll start with them first. But when I watched the game live, I was so impressed with how good he played. And there may not be numbers out there that are going to prove it. So maybe not everybody knows, but if you didn't, Eric Armstead.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like he made that defensive line go this weekend. He is so unstoppable one-on-one up the middle. So unstoppable. He collapsed that pocket repeatedly, put people in the lap of Pickett, forced him to go outside. Eric Armstead was a one-man wrecking crew. And it was phenomenal because where I was sitting was not directly behind the end zone, but kind of off in the corner. So anytime anytime Pittsburgh was going away from us, it was like I had a perfect view of what was happening at the line of scrimmage on a regular basis. And I loved to watch it. And the same thing when they were coming back this way and they got close, you could see everything. Down in and down out was absolutely wrecking the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And like I said, the stats may not be there, but other people have stats because of what he did. And I've got to imagine people are talking about him because he is a big time player on this team, but he absolutely deserves his credit. And then I have 2 more players for you, and they're both special teams guys. One of them is Charlie Warner. Charlie Warner is a phenomenal special teamer, a very good tackler, just plays gaps perfectly, knows exactly what he's doing on special teams. We know he's a good blocker on offense, but as a special teamer, he is so crucial to this special teams like kickoff unit. He was all over the place. I loved watching him play. And the last one is Mitch Wishnowsky. Like how many times are you going to give a punter credit? But I'll say this, watching him compared to the Steelers punter, we're blessed. The Steelers punter was awful. And it's funny because there was Steelers fans. One thing I said in the opening of the show was how knowledgeable Steelers fans are. They're like, yeah, and he actually beat somebody out. He's terrible. And they were talking about their punter and kind of the origin story of him. Mitch Wishnowsky was so good. He has probably 5 or 6 different kicks in his arsenal, and he was money the whole time. If he needs to sky punt it to allow the special teams to get there and make a play, he can do that.
Yeah.
If he needs to put a knuckleball out there to confuse the returning player like he did, he can do that. If he needs to coffin corner it, he can do that. His game, his ability to punt and just kick in general was on full display in this game. And again, a lot of people probably aren't going to give him love. They absolutely should. Mitch Wisnowski's a damn good punter, and I think his array of skills were definitely on display this weekend. I thought it was pretty cool to watch.
I agree, and I got 3 more actually.
Okay,
Now
let's
that I'm
go.
thinking about this, 'cause I didn't even
Yeah.
prepare for this show, but thinking about it, can we give a shout out to Ray McLeod for not only for how reliable he has been in the kick return, punt return game, and he
Yeah.
does a great job. He always gains positive yards. But that run blocking for CMC on that 65-yard run that he got was, I mean, obviously BA was amazing. He pancaked the guy on that run blocking. But Ray, I mean, I think that's why Kyle really likes Ray so much. You got to be able to block to be a wide receiver for the 49ers. And on that block and on that play for CMC, Ray was just, I mean, those guys were blocking 65 yards downfield. Right, Aaron Banks was one of the first people in the end zone. Like the whole team blocks as a whole. But I want to give Ray a shout out because he made me feel a lot better now. Like I'm excited about Ronnie Bell, but when I assumed Ray was going to be out, I was a little concerned because he's a rookie and I didn't know if we were going to just rely on Ronnie Bell off the jump from in the kick return game. But Ray made me feel a lot better, and he was solid in that regard. Now the other 2 guys that I think are a little bit unsung heroes, because we know Bosa's Bosa. Armstead, you pointed out how great he played. Hargrave, amazing, right? Drake Jackson, phenomenal. But I think we need to acknowledge Clelin Ferrell as well as Javon Kinlaw. They both played really well as well. And
Yeah.
The 49ers defensive line right now has me excited, man. I'm really excited about the whole entire defense, including that depth at the defensive line with Clelin Ferrell and Javon Kinlaw, man. Hats off to him. I hope he plays well this year, man. Earns himself a contract for next year, wherever that is. I don't think it'll be with the Niners, but somewhere.
I threw some things in at the end, and if you have them, great. But I didn't give it to you as a topic because it was just kind of more of little things that I think, from my perspective, being at the game, just some random takeaways that I'm going to end with. And I have a funny one about Javon Kinlaw in a good way, but I agree with you. Kinlaw deserves to be in there, and Clelin Ferrell definitely deserves to be in there. I love this, man. I love giving these guys praise that wouldn't normally get it. And I think you're absolutely right on all of them. They do deserve it.